You, what up, people? Got the snoring dog. Kids at our mother's. No band practice tonight. So, doing a review. It is a little bit late. I just watched a movie, and I'm not reviewing yet, obviously. But I am reviewing a movie that I saw got lots of praise heaped on it. It's not really old. I want to say it's 2024. Could have been earlier this year. Anyhow, I watched it a couple weeks ago, and I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm just not as enamored with this movie as other people were. And I watched it twice just to make sure. It's called Oddity, and I saw it had gotten very positive reviews from a lot of the guys who I enjoy watching, like Cody Leach. I think he might be my favorite of them. I think Kanan Becker liked it. Sean Chandler, I think, liked it too. So there's a few dudes who I like watching their videos, and I'm usually in relative agreement with these guys, I would say, for the most part. Maybe less with Cody, but I like his style of talking the most, I think. He's really good. So, Oddity. Like I said, people love this thing. Critics seem to really like it. It was very effective in its use of videography. The camera work was killer. The slight usage of sound that they had, which really was quite minimalized, but effective in the spots where they were using it, probably because it was minimalized. So when they came in with it, it was very effective. The decent acting from everyone in this whole thing, especially shout out to Carolyn Bracken. She was the dual role in this thing, and she was badass. So I think all that said, this movie should have been a lot better for me, and it kind of bothered me that it wasn't. Now, the reason that it wasn't is, I guess in my estimation, I would call it the story. So, not so much the plot, because the plot seems workable, but it was the way they filled in the gaps of the plot. It just, or that could be inaccurate. It might have been the direction that people were given. Like, I've never made a movie, so it's hard for me to tell exactly which angle this is coming from that I didn't like it. I know why I didn't like it, but I don't know why that happened. So for everyone who, like, I think this is only the second time I've done this. For everyone who doesn't want to get into any kind of spoilers about this movie, I would suggest to watch it. I think a lot of people will like it. Some people might find it boring, but I don't think it was a boring movie. I give it a 7. And if you like unusual horror flicks, then give it a look. Oddity. It is a decent movie. I'm not trying to denigrate it that much. Now, on to the spoilers. The reason I didn't like this movie, as much as I should have, or as much as I feel like it deserved to be liked, was because the second the person came on screen who was guilty of the occurrence that had gone wrong in this film, once you saw that guy, I immediately knew he had something to do with it. I immediately thought, he's the killer, ultimately. right away. And then when I saw the secondary person involved, I was like, oh yeah, I probably hired that guy. And lo and frickin' behold, that actually ended up being exactly what happened. Now, for me, that's bothersome because I'm not even typically good at this kind of a thing. I'm not the guy who's gonna guess a movie with any great degree of accuracy for the most part. So if I do, you know, I give you a little questionable. Now, the reason, I mean, I guess it seems like that would just be from the story. The story itself exposed the guy, and I just happened to notice it or whatever. But then when I think about it, was it the direction? Because the director said, hey, look at this object over here and give me this line, whatever the case was that made me go work onto it so early. I don't remember exactly what happened. I think it might have just been his face. I saw his face and I was like, oh, he's guilty. I'm just. And I'm not good at that. So if I did that, I think that half the people I've ever watched a movie with who are actually good at doing that, they're just going to know right away. You're going to start watching this thing and be like, oh, well, there's no secret. They didn't try to hide it in a wall somewhere that you had to look for it, or, you know, place it on the back burner until at least 3/4 through the movie where they had some kind of reveal, or just anything like that. It was just a basic, so obvious that I was like, holy crap. And for me, that was disappointing. So, this 7 that I gave this movie, which still makes it a good movie, the 7 that I gave this movie could probably have been a good 8.5 if it just wasn't so easy to guess that. Because it's a beautiful movie, it looks beautiful, it's a cool plot, it's an interesting performance by the lead, who's a dual lead, and she is a very talented actress. It's just nice looking as well, so that always helps. But it's just something about that shit of guessing something ahead of time that bothers me, because I don't like to do that, and I don't try to do that. So when you foist it upon me, it turned me off to the film to some degree, which did, it was interesting enough that I would say it's worth the watch to anyone, even if you also guess it ahead of time. I don't think that it ruined the movie for me, but it did lessen my estimation of its value, certainly for, future rewatching. I think the 2 times I watched it, the one time I watched it and I was like, what? I must have missed something. Then I watched it the second time with a real keen eye and was like, I missed nothing. So it is a decent movie for a good watch, but I didn't find any suspense to it, and that's unfortunate because it should have been a suspenseful movie along with the horrific aspect, and if it had been, I think it would have been quite a bit better. I'd like to hear your thoughts about this film, if you really liked it, or if you didn't like it and you thought it was kind of overplayed in the realm of movie reviewers. That's kind of how I was feeling about this one. Let me know your thoughts, please. I'd appreciate it. I got a snoring dog over here, and I don't got time for that.